Before I get started on today's video, I need to give a shout out. I want to thank my friend Steven for composing my intro song. Steven, let me tell you, that song sounded great, and I look forward to keep using it in my future videos. Now to today's video. Super Smash Bros. Is one of my favorite series of video games. In fact, each game has become one of my favorite games of all time at one point or another. In the GameCube generation, Melee was one of my favorites. In the Wii generation, Brawl was one of my favorites. What? Yes, you heard me. In the Wii U generation, it was Smash for Wii U. I have been playing Super Smash Bros. Since the very first one on the Nintendo 64. I remember when my brother and I asked our parents to rent a game for us. My brother asked for Super Smash Bros. When I saw Mario on the cartridge, I wondered why his name was not in the title.
Then, oh my gosh, Mario, Pikachu, Link, and Fox all in the same game? What?
And I have been on the Super Smash Bros. Hype train ever since. Today, I am talking about Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. Ultimate is a pretty bold word to describe this game, as I feel each game has its own strengths and weaknesses. Don't get me wrong, Masahiro Sakurai works really hard on these games. I mean, Sakurai, I am grateful for what you have done to the series, but take a vacation, buddy. You've earned it. So, is this the ultimate Super Smash Bros. Game? Well, let's find out.
Super Smash Bros. In general is a mix of three things: a 2.5D platformer, a fighting game, and King of the Hill. Other fighting games have a health meter, but this game has lives and a damage percentage. Instead of multiple rounds in a match, there is one round per match here. The goal is to be the last man standing, or have the most KOs when the time runs out. Yes, Smash Bros. Plays different from other fighting games. The goal is to smash your opponent off the TV screen, kind of breaking the fourth wall. This game has a universal control scheme, meaning every character uses the same controls except with different strengths, speed, and moves. In the case of the GameCube controller, A is your basic punches and kicks, B is your character's special move. You can also jump with the tilting of the analog stick up, though I personally use the X button. There are also items that you can use, and the ones that are new to this game are banana guns, which only have one bullet and becomes a banana peel once used. Beast Ball, Black Hole, Bomber, Death Scythe, Fake Smash Ball, Healing Field, Healing Sprout, Killing Edge, Rage Blaster, Ramblin' Evil Mushroom, Staff, and Super Launch Star. In terms of game mechanics, there are mechanics unique to this game. Directional dodging is back from Melee, but slightly different. Dodging has also been nerfed a little, as the more you do it, the more vulnerable you become. There is also Perfect Shield, which if your shield is released at just the right time, you have an opportunity for a counterattack, etc. With that being said, how are the characters and stages?
Ever since the release of Super Smash Bros. On the Nintendo 64, there have been characters added, characters cut, but in the case of Super Smash Bros. Ultimate,
everyone is here!
Meaning there's no, oh, I wish this character came back, or man, I miss playing as this character. Nope, everyone is here. I mean, who would have thought Pichu of all characters would make a return? I mean, I remember those days when people would clamor for Roy, Mewtwo, and Lucas to return. I mean, young Link is back. I would never have expected him to make a return after Melee, but looky here, he's back as well.
The game starts off with the original Nintendo 64 roster, but with quite a bit of playtime, you will be able to unlock every single character, which is a whopping 66 characters to unlock.
I mean, who you unlock is really no surprise if you have been following this game. But man, does it make me think. The series has come a long way, and I am glad to have grown up with it over the years. Now for the characters themselves. I will not be talking about every single one of them, as well, that would take all day. So I'm going to talk about what's unique to this game. I'm going to talk about a couple of changes to the veteran fighters as well as the newcomers.
Link is based on his Breath of the Wild incarnation this time around. He does not have his hookshot this time around, as that did not appear in Breath of the Wild. He also has remote bombs in this game, and his final smash is the Ancient Arrow. The Fire Emblem characters Marth, Roy, Lucina, and Chrom, more on him in just a bit, have faster dancing blades. This game also introduces Echo Fighters, which are fighters with the same moveset but with some tweaks. In the past games, these were called clones by the fans, but having them here allows for more characters to be here. And I in fact prefer some of these characters over the ones they are echoes of. Chrom is an echo of Roy. Chrom is in fact one of my mains in this game. Okay, I know there are a lot of Fire Emblem characters in Smash now, but I do play the games, trust me. There are a lot of Fire Emblem characters. Chrom does not have fire-based attacks, and his up B is more like Ike's. Lucina is Marth's Echo Fighter. Marth does max damage at the tip, whereas Lucina's blade gives consistent damage throughout. Then you have Dark Samus, Daisy, Dark Pit, Kin, and Richter Belmont. As for the brand new characters, as in unique characters, let's start with Inkling. Quick, agile, but easy to launch, as well as being based around ink, which is what Splatoon is known for. Isabelle from Animal Crossing, Ridley, who is a heavy character from Metroid. I was against his inclusion in the past because of he's too big, but I'm okay with him here because for this game, anything pretty much goes. Just do not add someone who is not a video game character, Sakurai. In Center War, in which I did pick Litten as my starter in Pokemon Moon, he has a fun moveset, but I am not a fan of his up B. King K. Rool I like using because his moveset references the Donkey Kong Country trilogy, and he's a pretty strong character too. Then you have the Belmonts, Simon and Richter. I personally use Richter because I like Symphony of the Night. The Belmonts are very projectile heavy and their whip has quite a bit of range. My mains vary from game to game, but the characters I would pick for tournaments are Cloud, I remember asking for his inclusion on Miiverse, and Chrom. I also like using Rosalina, Richter, King K. Rool, Wolf, and Shulk. There are over 100 stages. Wow! With some of my favorites from past games such as Hyrule Castle from the N64 game, Fountain of Dreams, Fourside, Pirate Ship, WarioWare, Kalos Pokemon League, Midgar, and more that I want to say, but this list would be too long, all looking gorgeous in this game. There are some new stages too, such as New Donk City, which is one of my favorite Mario levels, the Great Plateau Tower, the Splatoon stage, and Dracula's Castle. Okay, there's not many new stages this time around. As someone who likes big cities, New Donk City is my favorite out of these new stages, as well as Dracula's Castle with the candles drop items when hit. I'm not a fan of the Splatoon stage because of the slopes, and space is pretty tight for my liking, but that's my opinion. I do like how the Breath of the Wild stage has a backdrop emphasizing the vast world offered in that game. I also love how you can turn on a feature called Stage Morph, which lets you pick two stages, and when the match comes, the match will alternate between the two stages. Even though everyone is here, not every stage is here. The ones that are cut from this game are as follows. I will be honest, I personally do not miss Pokefloats as much as other people do, but I do think it would be cool to have an updated version of the stage. I don't understand why Pac-Maze was cut, because that would be the stage to associate Pac-Man with. In Jungle Hijinks, it was cool to have fighting in the background and foreground. It was pretty unique, and I don't understand why it was cut. Orbital Gate Assault was a really cool stage. I missed this one the most out of all the omissions, even though the stage kills you. And the Miiverse stage, in which Miiverse has been shut down. I'm pretty satisfied with the selection of stages other than a few omissions. But the ones that are here, I will definitely be playing on a long time.
As for your modes, you have your modes in Smash with plenty of ways to play, such as the new Squad Strike and Smashdown modes. Although coin battles have been cut, in which I did not really play coin battles much anyway. Vault basically has your records, replays, challenges, which are like achievements or trophies, as well as tips on how to play the game. Shop, where you can buy spirits, music, etc. And music, man, there is so much music in this game. I love it. I could spend hours listening to the music here, as well as set how often I would like to play it on certain stages. And did I mention that I spent hours setting up my music for the stages? Games and more. Here you have training mode, which I always treated like a sandbox mode. You also have Mob Smash, in which you have Multi-Man Smash mode plus All-Star Smash, which All-Star has been cut from this game, but I would say this is a good replacement because as the series grew, I was less interested in doing All-Star with every character. I did do All-Star with every character in Melee, but with more characters in the later games. Then there is Classic mode. Oh man, I love this game's classic mode. There are no break the targets here still, but there is a mini game like Race to the Finish. As far as difficulty goes, you can choose your difficulty, and depending on how well you do, the difficulty raises. Lose the match and the difficulty lowers, unless you have a ticket that you choose to use. I like this because in Smash 4, I'm going to call it, lets you pick your difficulty, but it only adjusts lower when you lose a fight, making it a bit frustrating to finish on the highest difficulty. I mean, don't get me wrong, it is supposed to be hard, but it got to the point where I was just trying to beat Master Hand, but here in this game, I was able to take one of my mains and complete on the highest difficulty. What I like most is each route is unique to each character, with each route referencing each character, such as Mega Man fighting the Robot Masters and fighting Dr. Wily, or Dr. Mario, Snake fighting Metal Gear, Pokemon Trainer trying to be the champion, Simon Belmont fighting Dracula, Ryu's route being stamina battles playing more like Street Fighter, Marth fighting a dragon, aka a dragon from Monster Hunter. I could go on. I enjoyed playing as every character in classic mode because there are loads of references. There are a couple modes that have been cut from this game, which are Home Run Contest and Stage Builder. Now for the online. Why Nintendo thought it was a good idea to bring friend codes back is beyond me. I wish Nintendo's online was handled like Xbox Live and PlayStation Network. Okay, so Nintendo says to use Ethernet for online, but I actually use coffee shop Wi-Fi. Did I come across some lag? Yeah, some on those 4-player matches. But from my experience, it is not as bad as Brawl's online. But personally, I've had a lot more successes than, well, misses. But stick with Ethernet. Last but not least, Spirits mode.
So what are spirits? Well, spirits are these 2D images that you can find on Google. Okay, there is a little more to it than that. Spirits replace trophies in this game, and I have mixed feelings on it. On one hand though, there are over 1,200 spirits, which is more than the trophy count in Melee, Brawl,
and 3DS for Wii U. And I get it, it would have taken more development time to create 3D models of these characters, and trophies really did not affect the gameplay too much, but I still miss collecting trophies in this game. I also miss the descriptions trophies have, which spirits do not have descriptions in this game. I mean, in the past games, I would spend hours looking at trophies and reading their descriptions, which really gives Super Smash Bros. That museum feel. That museum feel is still here in Ultimate with all the music, the references, but I would have liked these spirits to have descriptions, at least. And because of it, the game feels less like a museum. I don't find collecting these spirits as satisfying because of it, but they do contribute to gameplay. How, you may ask?
These spirits provide another way to customize your battles. The primary spirits come in 4 types, which have a paper rock scissors system, and there are support spirits as well. Depending on your loadout, you will have stats and behaviors affected, such as starting the battle in metal form, being immune to heavy winds, etc. There are also RPG elements to these spirits in which they can level up, and certain spirits can even evolve at level 99, kind of like how Pokemon evolve. In adventure mode, there is also a sphere grid like system in which you would level up. More on adventure mode in just a bit. One way you can gain spirits is through the spirit board, which are kind of like event matches. However, event matches were cut from this game. Now for the adventure mode. It opens up with this fantastic looking cutscene where Galeem and a horde of master hands float in the air. So Galeem, I'm not even going to make the Thanos joke here. Wipes out everyone except Kirby. Galeem, how I'm gonna pronounce it, cloned the fighters he wiped out. And he has spirits possess them by turning the clones into puppets. There is not really much in terms of story here. It's just as you keep playing, you'll recruit the downed fighters through battles, take down Galeem, which I would say does not end very climactic at all. I mean, oh wait, then Darkon appears, then you go to his dimension, recruit more fighters there, then Galeem and Darkon wage war against each other. You pick a side, and if you defeat Darkon, the world gets consumed in light. If you defeat Galeem, the world gets consumed in darkness. Or you could get the true ending, where, oh look, the Master Hand glitch from Melee is official. You can actually play as Master Hand in this game, which was so awesome, but too bad it was only limited. For real, you can actually play as Master Hand in Melee. Look it up online and try it yourself. And then there is a platform section here, which I wish there were more platform sections in this game, kind of like in Subspace Emissary and Smash Run. After defeating both Darkon and Galeem, the world is now at peace. The cutscenes in World of Light are awesome, and it's a shame too because I wish there were more of them. Although I can see why Sakurai put in the amount he did. I also wish there were more interaction between the characters, kind of like how the characters interact in this cutscenes of Subspace Emissary. As far as gameplay goes, you wander around the world, which looks like a hand-drawn map, fight spirit battles. You can also buy items or go to gyms that adjust spirit stats. What I really like are all the references to other video games. I had a huge grin on my face when I found the first world of Donkey Kong Country, and I really like the Zelda world map. The Street Fighter map, which was also pretty cool too. There are also boss fights in this too that you also fight with some characters in classic mode. After Smash 4's lack of an adventure mode, I am glad it made a return in this game. I will say I like Subspace Emissary a little more simply because of the cutscenes where characters interact and the stages were fleshed out as more like levels from a 2D platformer, but I enjoyed the amount of time I spent on this mode.
As far as playing for competition goes, Smash Brothers is the only game series that I play competitively, which is ironic because I do not play Melee competitively. What I talked about mostly was what was unique to this game, and I can safely say I am completely satisfied with this game's roster. All characters are here, including Snake, Pichu, and freaking Cloud Strife from Final Fantasy VII, which is one of my top 3 favorite games of all time. The new characters are great too, such as Chrom, King K. Rool, and the Belmont clan. I'm having a hard time thinking of what other characters I want in Smash. I mean, freaking Joker from Persona 5 is joining this game. I mean, Persona 5 and Persona 4 Golden are definitely some of my favorite JRPGs. In fact, either Persona 5 or Persona 4 Golden is in my top 5 favorite games as well. I mean, I also wonder if Yu Narukami will be an Echo Fighter of Joker. I could go on about the roster, but the characters I'm expecting to see as DLC would be definitely a Fire Emblem Three Houses character, although I hope it's an Axe or a Lance user this time. And I also see that Dragon Quest representation has been leaked. I mean, could also mean that Chrono from Chrono Trigger would be playable. And one thing that would be a big bombshell is Banjo-Kazooie for Smash. I mean, Phil Spencer said he would allow for Banjo-Kazooie in Smash. And as for the 5th one, let's see, maybe Crash Bandicoot, Geno, who else? Anyway, I do like the stage selection for sure. Adventure mode is back too, which is nice. The final verdict for this game is a 10 out of 10. Legendary. I appreciate the amount of work Sakurai puts into these games. Now, before I wrap this review up, a 10 out of 10 does not mean this game is perfect. No game is. In fact, every review I do will have a My Critiques section. Super Smash Bros. To me is fun no matter the game, but this one in particular, I can safely say ranks up there as one of my favorite games of all time, along with Final Fantasy VII, Majora's Mask, and either Persona 5 or Persona 4 Golden. I do hope that this is the last Smash game for at least 10 years. If it were the last Smash game, I would be okay with that too. In fact, now that this game is out, I would rather have a Super Smash Bros. Ultimate Deluxe in 10 years than a Smash 6. It is for that reason that I can now lock this game as my number 3 favorite game of all time. For those of you that never got into Smash, never took much interest in it, or if you're still hardcore into Melee after all these years, then this game will not do much to change your mind. Those of you that are playing, I look forward to settling it in Smash. Thank you all for watching, and have yourself a fantastic day.